And I'm joined now by the former Portuguese Finance Minister, Jorge de Macedo. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. So, weeks were spent wrangling over the plan to fund huge support for Ukraine by leveraging immobilised Russian assets in Europe, and that plan ultimately failed. What signal does that send, do you think, to President Putin about the European Union's ability to agree rapid action?
Well, I think that the fact that there was a response is quite positive. It's difficult to get all these different countries to act together. So it is good, but it has to be sustained. And it's not clear yet how long it will last. But the fact that it happened is a reason to be happy, in my judgment.
Reason to be happy. And President Zelensky saying that it does send an important message to Russia. Now, is this €90 billion deal, though, that was announced more of a short-term fix, though, or is it suitable as a financial framework for supporting Ukraine in the long run? And will Belgium's concerns about the Russian legal action on its frozen assets, because they're mainly held in Belgium, are they likely to be overcome for that ever to be a source of funding for Ukraine?
Of course, it is a first step, and there are a lot of hesitations from several countries, including the one you mentioned. This is very much how Europe works. The fact that it did happen is, to my judgment, a good sign.
Now, with uncertainty around future US support, how important then is this deal for Europe's strategic autonomy from the US?
Well, exactly. You know, a lot of this remains a little bit Russia and US. And of course, Europe is in the middle by definition, geographic definition. It's been a challenge for Europe from the very beginning. And for a time, there was the idea that the US, through NATO, was completely protective, and this idea is now changing. I don't think it's necessarily something to be alarmed about, but it is something that Europe has to realize makes it more important that every country agrees. And this, as we know very well, since Maastricht and even before, is easier said than done.
Now, separately, at that same EU summit, the Mercosur-EU trade deal was once again delayed. Why has it taken 25 years to get this far? And what are the remaining issues?
Yeah, well, that one, I must say, really disappointed me. I mean, I still remember I was at the OECD when this started, this talk started. I think it's an extremely important dimension. The southern part of the, American landmass is very important. These four countries are very relevant interlocutors. I am very hurt, sad to see that this did not manage to convince three countries, important ones. I think you have to keep going, keep trying, because Southern Europe is almost as crucial to Europe, I would even say very close, than Africa. And there have been a lot of difficulties in the relationship between the European Union and the African Union. And there are two unions there. In the case of Latin America, this is not the case, but for Mercosur, it was. So I think it's very sad.
Well, we really appreciate your insights today, sir. Thank you very much for being here with us. Jorge de Macedo, the former Finance Minister from Portugal.
My pleasure.